Hello there, welcome to the first official video of Expanded Universe builds, formerly known as Models by Dan. I felt the name was a little bit too derivative and it didn't really speak to what I wanted to try and do with my builds. So I'm not really a canon builder. It's not something that really takes my interest to an extent. I love the lore behind the story. And what I wanted to do with my builds was maybe tell a different part of the story, or maybe tell an original story, something that happens in between events. So my builds aren't looking at the exact accuracy of what you see on the screen view stuff, but it will be close. But it may have something else in it that will tell a different story. I'm hoping to sell that better this year with a couple of editions of dioramas, which will start coming out later this year. But for the first sort of prototype, this is the final end result of the Outland Tie Fighter. This was a kit by Revell. A really simple kit, really simple build. It featured as part of the January cargo clearance month that I was having, along with an Imperial shuttlecraft and an X-Wing fighter as well, which I still need to finish painting up, and I haven't even revealed that yet. That will be the next video. Moving into February, I'm going to be looking at some previous builds that didn't get finished for one reason or another, and then looking at either repairs or getting those builds finalized and completed. Some of those builds are going to be centered around the Star Trek universe this time around, and I've even got something from Batman Forever to try and get through as well. Like I say, I don't have a particular upload schedule, so I just build and upload when I can. However, coming back to this TIE Fighter, so the kit itself is really simple. It's quite, dare I say, uninteresting, apart from the pose which you would have seen in the Mandalorian. This was a concept art piece that came into fruition then with the Mandalorian TV show. Now, during this era, the Empire is on the ropes. We are looking at the remnant forces. So I wanted the aesthetics of the TIE Fighter to represent the fact that they no longer have that superiority in the point in time in the galaxy. The resources may be dwindled and standards may be lacking amongst the forces. Therefore, the maintenance isn't as high. And you end up with a product or a vehicle that looks like it needs a little bit of TLC. So that was pretty much what inspired this. I wanted to just give it a landed setting. I figured the idea of this position was it could land anywhere, and therefore I decided to set it on a faraway planet, not quite as arid as the other stuff that we've seen, like Tatooine or even Navarro, which are all desert scenes. Now, a little bit of a nod into that is, of course, the sort of dried ground there, but with a little hint of a life that this planet is elsewhere, and may have a little bit more moisture than what the desert areas of let us see. With a lot of my builds, I do like to add a little lighting effect, and this build is certainly no exception. And I've just sort of gone into the knack of utilising 5-volt power boards. So that means your phone charger can actually power any of the models that I do. That's the plan going forward. And the result then is, let me just take this overhead light off, is that we've got an underglow on the undercarriage, and of course the main cockpit then has that sort of red lit glow. Let's see if I can get you a little bit closer on that. Like I say, this build was more about selling the effect. As you can see, there's a little bit of light leaking around the canopy window. Unfortunately, because the way I had to build this and then paint it, it didn't allow for some of the usual tricks to take place to make sure that light blocking happened. The other issue was I couldn't actually light this and do a test until I wired it up permanently, because I had to add resistors to make sure that the LEDs didn't burn out. So there's a little TIE Fighter palette there. You can see that the red lights are really doing the job there. They are bouncing the light around in that cockpit beautifully. And of course we can see our pilot and some of the details of the consoles behind. So a little bit of a shame with that light leak on this on the front there, but all in all, I think it takes a relatively, dare I say, boring model and helps elevate it into a new position. And that's what this channel is going to aim to do. So follow along. Like I say, I started out on TikTok and the name has changed there as well. So it's Expanded Universe Builds. And that's certainly no different for YouTube. And for the first time, please like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you on the next one.